Okay, the qualifying is going. My mic is unmuted. And I'll just continue with kind of what I was starting to say before I realized that I wasn't saying anything to stream. So, I'll bring it all the way back to the beginning. 175 followers is our goal. Is our next goal here. 167 is where we sit. If you could try and help us get there, that'd be very much appreciated. We'll go 200 followers for our goal for the end of Season 3. And that'll bring us to a close of 1 year of streaming in the Midwest F1 League. So please help us try and get there. I had an over and under of this qualifying for 4.5 crashes. Nor did I say 5.5. I'm going to say 4.5. 4.5 is the over-under for DNFs here in qualifying. Right now we are on with Mystic Joker as he's coming around. There we go, we get the track map up turn 16. That long looping left-hander into the bus stop chicane of 18 and 19. Mystic still leading the way. Cake closely follows, as well as Impossible Bacon and Janet to win it, and Jacko all kind of switching up spots here as Mystic should come over the line for pole, and Cake is a full second back. So okay, Mystic absolutely crushed that in comparison to everyone else. But it'll be Mystic Joker and Cake Thomas up at the front row. Cake actually beats out Jacko by a full second. We're waiting on Krustier T to come over the line to finish up qualifying here, but there's a massive gap. But I'll go through the qualifying order once again. Full wets was needed. Oh, just over a second was the difference between Mystic Joker and Cake Thomas. 2.25 was the difference between Mystic Joker and Jacko, as Jacko comes over the line in third, right beside a very familiar foe in Janet to win it, Impossible Bacon, the other Bertuzzi finishing fifth. Ray matching him on the third row in sixth, Mahi Mahi seventh, beside JC Blackley, HSVDT in the Cares background of the top 10. In the Dams is A. Daltoni in 11th, Hotspot 12th, Grumpy Old Catman in 13, Knuckles in 14, Krustier T in 15, and 3 disqualifications from Will Ans, Sui, and Spaceman. So the over-under was at 4.5, and it has gone under with only 3. So well done to the Midwest drivers in proving me wrong. Anyone looking else on the left side of their screen there, they can see, I think that's Janet to win its car bumping up and down. He's like that plane from the Numa Numa music video. Mana da 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 da. Mana da 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 da. Mana da 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 da. Yeah, it's classic when Oh my god, what's his name? The Muppet. Oh my god, what is that Muppet's name? Spaceman, help me out. Who's the crazy Muppet? The one that sings that song. Oh, come on. I don't... Yeah, the red one. The red one. Muppets. List of the Muppets. Oh, come on. Yeah. The big, massive ass eyebrows. Kermit, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, Ralph, Scooter, Animal. That's him. Yeah, he was the one that sang the Mana Mana song. Mana Mana. Man, one of my most favorite movies when I was a kid was Muppets in Space. And one drunk ass evening, I decided to buy it on Amazon. But enough of that. And on to the race we go. Mystic Joker getting a fairly good jump. It looks like Impossible Bacon's trying to weave himself up past his teammate. Jacko does get a good start and has already found his way. Yo, Cake Thomas splitting the gap between himself, Jacko, and Jinnit. Jinnit is still in 4th, Impossible in 5th, Ray holding on to 6th right now. Up Eau Rouge we go. What are we going to see here? Let's get into the back of the pack, and we've got wheel-to-wheel racing between Will Ans and the Garris Fack here. Get a better camera angle at that as Will Ans is able to take the position. A. Daltonian is as well, not too far away from the battle. But it looks like we got a very big pressure for the lead by Cake Thomas, trying to go around the outside. And I get this bloody Muppets off my screen. I can tell you Liz Combs in turn 5 and 6 was where that was taking place. Hotspot and HSVDT, a couple of very familiar faces battling out as well, and it was actually Hotspot who gets overtaken by HS, and I'm not sure what happened to HS there, but it looks like he might have missed his braking point and just didn't have the traction. It goes a little bit too deep into turn 8, and Hotspot's able to get the position back. Will Ans gets one on A. Daltonian, sending it around the outside, and A. Daltonian's teammate Sui is right stuck in behind, but still into the battle for the top. We see Jinnit Twin it working right on the tail of Elma Jacko. Jacko looking for another solid finish, but goes a little bit too deep there and kind of opens the door ever so slightly for Jinnit. Jinnit can show some real nasty pace from time to time. Hotspot and HS still duking it out there for 8th place. We got a battle for the final podium position. Cake is doing a fairly good job of holding the gap between himself and Mystic Joker, but Jacko, I'm not sure if you got a little bit of oversteer there, but that can open up the gap for the Brit of Jinnit to win it, and he gets past and gets a full car ahead, but Jacko's going to slot right into the slipstream, right into the caboose, and we'll get on board with Impossible Bacon, see if we can get a good camera angle here, and Jinnit going ever so slightly deep into the final turn of turn 18, and once again has to try and overcorrect it going through 19, but Jacko can't get much of a better line going through either. The lead holds at a 1.5 seconds from between Mystic Joker and Cake Thomas. Cake doing as much as he can, but Mystic was showing some dumb pace here in qualifying and in the wet, so I'll have to see how things change over. It's supposed to change to a dry race in the latter stages of this feature race, and sprint's supposed to be all dry. Once again, up Eau Rouge, what are we going to see? Fairly clean from the mid-pack. Everyone's taking it fairly pedestrian here. King George, very good to see you. JC and Will Ans, a couple of teammates there, getting into a little bit of a battle. Will Ans gets him down the straight, and HSVDT and Hotspot get a little bit of a connection there, and HS is forced to drop back into 11th. I didn't get the best angle on that, but I did see the contact on the front left side of HSVDT. Looks like he's still got his full wing intact. So switching over to the position changes is Will Ants, who is weaving his way up the field, currently picking off 8 spots, and looking at another one, got hotspot initially. The hotspot Div 2 announcer gets him back, then Will Ants does a nice job sending it around the outside through the double the double go of turn 10 and 11, and through turn 13, as my track map isn't exactly lined up, hotspot is able to get the traction and the run out, gets the position back on Will Ants. I'm not sure if it's going to stick that way for too long. Will Ants is looking like a very... Whoa, never mind. JC Blackley actually sees a gap that his teammate and Will Ants left, and he takes the position back, and now he's going to try and take his turn working on hotspot. Yellow flag all the way back at turn 9. Crest your T not having his best, I guess, simply put, first race in Midwest, I believe it is for him, at least in F2. Will Ants able to pick his teammate back, and JC Blackley actually gets picked by 2 and now sends it deep into turn 1, trying to go around the outside of HSVDT. HS does a good job, gives him space, a little bit of contact between the 2 drivers. JC with the longer way around does good with getting that traction out of the turn. Stats boy missed in the chat. Good to see you, my guy. Sorry, what'd you say there? Praying for Vac last place finish. Oh, I didn't. That's savage, King George. I didn't even see that. The Garrus Vac is getting ever so much closer to that as he's down in 14th, dropping 4 positions off of qualifying, initially starting in 10th place, not having the race that he was hoping for. Spaceman and Grumpy Old Catman, a couple teammates here, battling it out. Knuckles isn't too far away. Jinnit to win it. Looks like he was able to pick off a position, as well as HSVDT is trying to work around the outside of JC Blackley going through turn 8. And it's now Will Ants in a hotspot, as you can see on the front side of your screen there, that are actually battling it out. Will Ants seems to have finally been able to pick that position back. Daltonian actually sneakily got ahead of HSVDT, but HS has the shorter way around track. AE's doing a good job of trying to hold it. Sui is looking for an area to kind of pick a spot, but HSVDT willingly goes off track and picks himself up a 3-second penalty. AE has a little bit of a sloppy racing line. HSVDT cuts that line off, and AE drops ever so slightly back. But up at the front there, Cake Thomas has really lost some speed here, as well as Impossible Bacon has lost the entire car. Not the entire car, but he lost traction of the car and is now forced to wait through that big line. Yo-ho! Oh, there is a little bit of a contact. Grumpy Old Cat gets a little bit of Impossible Bacon. Oh, yeah, I think a little bit of damage to the front right end plate there. Not what you want to see, but not the safest way to re-enter track. Cake Thomas is losing a little bit of what map y'all want for the scrim. Miss, can you give me a bit? I'm kind of in the middle of something, my guy, and I need to talk to my team, so I'll let you know later there, Mist. But Jack was trying to work on Cake, because Cake initially starting second has slowly found himself losing time to the leader Mystic Joker, as well to now second place Jinnit to win it. Yeah, thank you, King George. Okay, good. I mean, it's funny, yeah, but okay, here we go. Sui's trying to catch up to his teammate A. Daltonian. HSVDT has kind of fell back from the pack a little bit. Will Ants, ever since overtaking Hotspot, has been able to open up a 2-second gap. JC Blackley, very much so on the tail of Hotspot, it actually being the closest battle on track. And there you see, no more rain. The track is going to start drying up real quick. So I don't exactly know the tire compounds for Formula 2 here, but I imagine it's going to be... I wonder if it may be hard? Oh, who gone off? Jinnit to win it. didn't it spun out just around turn 15. There you can see him picking himself. Oh, and Cake Thomas. I saw Janet. I didn't see Cake Thomas. That faults Mahi all the way up into podium. Janet falls back into 8th. Now we're gonna see an absolute. When are we gonna see the pit stops? Are they gonna come in yet? I guess not. There we go. Okay. Oh, HS. That was a little... Okay, someone got their elbows out. You guys want to see the Garris back, okay? It's not his race today. He's going to go around once more. Oh, one of those dams should have pit. Not what you want to see. We'll take a peek at what tire compounds is going to go on. So yes, we do have the mediums and the softs here at Spa. Quite a few drivers are going for the mediums. There being 8 laps left. You want those to last out for the rest of this race. Garris Vac currently within a second of Sui. Sui, of course, Renault's longest tenured driver. Crustier T, unfortunately retiring from session in the wall. Hotspot and Cake. Come on, get over there. Hotspot and Cake, there we go, battling it out. Cake needs to get this overtake real quick because that was a little bit anticlimactic. A little bit of contact between Hotspot and Cake, and I think the track has still got a tiny bit of water still on it, and that's what kind of made Hotspot not be able to regain traction, and unfortunately loses it just around turn 7. And oh no, nearly bins it around turn 8 going into 9 as well. Still has his front wing fully intact. A lot left to race for. We're gonna see the front pack come in. There we go. Mystic Joker does come in. A lot of these drivers do stay out. I'm looking here. One of these dams drivers needs to pit right now. They can't both come in. If AE stays out. No, Sui, no. That's why one of you needed to pit last lap. So Jacko does the bold move here and stays out on the wets, obviously feeling like they're still good enough, or maybe that the mediums may need a couple of extra laps to get them across, but Jacko's already having his gap closed. As we'll see how much ground Mystic Joker can take. And it doesn't look like it's too much in this straight between him and Mahi. Now the real test is around these corners. Is it still that wet? And it actually still may be that wet, as there you go. Mystic is actually not even able to catch Mahi. So maybe quite a bit of premature pit stops for a lot of these drivers here. AE actually throws on another pair of wets. That is not what you want to see. Even with it being a little bit damp on track right now, the track will dry up soon enough. As you can see, these drivers are still going a little bit deep into the turns, and that being because they don't have the downforce needed. DRS is finally enabled. So the 2 DRS zones, that being both in Sector 1, one right at the starting line, and one down that long Kemmel straight into Les Combes. Les Combes. Currently the Garris Vac has worked himself back up into 8th, having a well-timed pit stop. So he's somewhat revived his race from what looked to be a sticky situation. Will Ans is up 12 positions from start. very well done by him through Spa, a very technical and long course. Over 7 kilometers is Spa, the longest track on the F1 calendar. Very historic track and a very beautiful track, as you can see, driving right through the forest in Belgium. Daltonian going a little bit wide. Maybe those wets are going to start really dropping here. Knuckles can smell 10th place. As well as you can see, Hotspot not too far away, and Daltonian has to cock the gun and call it a day and head into the pits. Needs another pit stop to get those wets off. It is just far too dry now. Elma Jacko is 10 seconds back of Mystic Joker. Mahi Mahi just over a second back of Jacko. This race has really opened up and separated a lot of these drivers. Looked for a second that Spaceman was really close to Knuckles, but Garrett's back actually being overtaken by Hotspot. So these two are battling it out. A couple of announcers in their own regard. The Garrett's Fact, that being Rainbow Six, Hotspot, that being Division 2 and Midwest. The battle of the announcers here. Let's see what can take place. Both feathering the throttle here, coming around the turn. About to get into the fairly technical side of Spa. Hotspot doing well, the Garrisvac virtually matching him. Still, the gap between Mahi and Jacko remains at around 1.3, actually hovers to 1.4. I'll have to try and keep my eye out for any other battles on track, but right now it looks like this is the closest one. Can Vac catch Hotspot, or can Hotspot pull away? Mystic Joker sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as it stands on the mediums, and as well as opening up the gap between himself and Elma Jacko. Jacko's got a lot of time to close. Vac does what is important, stays within DRS range. He's going to get a little bit of a speed boost down the straight. One of the shortest, if not the shortest, pit straight in all of F1. I'd imagine it would be, because as the stat goes, oh no, Garrisvac is losing time to Hotspot here. 1.1, Hotspot's just slowly creeping away from the Garrisvac, as Vac can see 8th place just creep off into the distance. Both take it fairly pedestrian through Eau Rouge. Actually, the Garrisvac more pedestrian than Hotspot, adding another quarter of a second between himself and the Garrisvac. Mahi Mahi's around 1.6 now, so Jacko's increasing that lead. Cake Thomas is right behind Ray, actually very close to Ray, as Ray made some sort of mistake somewhere. Cake is on 2-lap old soft, so these are going to wear out fairly quick in comparison to the mediums, as Spa is a very hard turning course, that being 19 turns, and Eau Rouge can really use up some of that grip if you don't feel comfortable taking it at the speeds that you're required to. 5th place is very much up for grabs. Cake Thomas with a 5-second penalty, so he needs to overtake Ray and as well as open up a 5-second gap, and or overtake Ray and hope that Ray somehow picks up a penalty somewhere. Mystic once again improving on his fastest lap, which is now set at a 2.04.015, and Elma Jacko actually rips that Ray out, right away from him, setting at a 2.03.772. So going about a quarter of a second quicker here. Cake Thomas is just right behind Ray here, so Ray is gonna really feel the heat, especially coming through Eau Rouge. The Garrus Vac unfortunately has fallen around 1.7 seconds out of hotspot, so he'll need some sort of mistake from hotspot or find some sort of pace that he didn't have before. And there you go, big difference on a confident driver through Eau Rouge and an unconfident, as Ray loses major time as well as major pace, which comes over to Kemmel and into Les Combes for Cake to take 5th place away from Ray. But now Cake's job is to try and build that gap between himself and Ray. Ray, all he has to do is just keep it close within 5 seconds and he'll get that position back. Okay, but now Jacko has worked himself a separation of 2 seconds between 2nd and 3rd. Mahi ever so slightly falling outside of the chance to get 2nd place. Still podium position is very well done for Spa, moving up 4 positions in his own rights. But right now, driver of the day, in my opinion, has to go to Will Ans. Moving up 12 spots, starting all the way back in 16, being one of the drivers to DNF off of the one-shot quali, and saying, hey, I don't need that. Qualifying is overrated, and then punches up 12 spots throughout the race, starting on the wets, doing it in the rain, and then drying it up and saying, this is no different to me, I'm gonna keep on trucking. 2.01.174 was the fastest lap you just saw there at the bottom of your screen for Mystic Joker, trying to get that extra point back. Sui is closing the gap as well to Spaceman. He's moved up 5 spots, being another one of the drivers that's DNF'd. Spaceman as well was the other one of the drivers at DNF, so in qualifying that is. Ray's done a good job of staying close to Cake Thomas here. Now it's all dependent on Eau Rouge. Eau Rouge can make or break a lap very early on, that being turn 2, 3, and 4. We've seen a lot of chaotic crashes through Eau Rouge, and Ray does a much better job this time, not losing nearly as much time the initial to Cake Thomas and actually closing the gap with the aid of DRS. Now we'll get on board with Sui and see what Sui can do coming through Eau Rouge. You can see Spaceman not too far off in the distance. Does good to keep the throttle pinned. Spaceman, as you can see, having a little bit of a wonky apex coming out through Rodillion. And here we go, Sui's going to line up a move to the inside line, gets alongside Spaceman. Get a weird camera angle. Sui does get the full car ahead, and Spaceman is forced to give way. And now Jinnit to win it is right behind Spaceman, and Spaceman having his apexes kind of shrugged away a little bit there as Sui forced him into an improper angle, and Jinnit to win it is able to take his pace advantage through turn 7 and bring it through turn 8 and gets a position done. Spaceman drops a matter of 2 positions in 4 turns. Jinnit to win it now right on the tail of brother Mystic Joker, that being Sui for 11th place. Speaking of, Mystic was really starting to feel those mediums right now, going with a 158.856. So increasing his gap to Jacko. Actually not by much, so Jacko's actually holding on pace fairly well. But Mystic Joker's really starting to pump in some really solid laps, seemingly improving with each one. A 2-minute lap is somewhat crazy to think of in the Formula 1 world, but this is the Formula 1 world, but we are in Formula 2 cars. Sui nearly going a little bit off at turn 17, but does good to stay on. But he will have 2-3 full laps actually to hold off Jinnit to win it, as Jinnit, after an unfortunate situation early on, finds himself in 12th. But he might actually be able to punch his ticket to getting fastest lap. If he can get a really good run through Eau Rouge and can use that DRS advantage. Sui picking up a time penalty, so that's going to really... it won't really hurt him, but that will hurt him. Sui trying to break the slipstream of Jinnit. Jinnit slowly catching up, but just can't get close enough coming into turn 5. Sui just holding on to 11th place as it stands right now. Who is Vac's teammate, you ask? I don't think he has... Or no, it's Mahi Mahi. Currently sitting 4th. Revving the absolute piss out of his motor. Actually, no, that's just a glitch. Cake drops back to 5th place. You can see Will Ann's not too far away. Close to... Actually, sorry. And there we go. Mystic Joker takes another 2 seconds off of his fastest lap. And of course, as I switch away, Jinnit is able to get alongside Sui. Sui's having to defend real hard here. Jinnit's just got the car ahead, but Sui's got the inside line coming into turn 14. And once again, Jinnit does a good job of sending it around the outside, gets really good traction, but Sui's not giving up. But Jinnit, with the overall pace advantage there, does get the move, and that would be around turn 15. But now Sui's coming right back at him. He's got the slipstream. But I don't think he's going to be able to take a little bit of a lunge into turn 18. But there we go, Jinnit to win it, going a little bit deep. And now Sui's going to actually get DRS coming down the pit straight. Jinnit's forced to give him space. We're going to drag down this straight coming into turn 1. Sui's just going to be able to get alongside him with the help of the DRS. The inside line goes Sui. Jinnit forced to go to the outside. But I think Jinnit lets him go through. Yeah, that'd be a good idea, man, for sure. We're always taking guys on. Jinnit to win it, going around the outside into turn 5, gets the position back on Sui. Just finishing up sector 1, now into sector 2, a very technical, the most technical sector actually is sector 2, so we'll see what these drivers can do. Last time coming around, Sui made the mistake and allowed Jinnit to win, to get alongside him, and Jinnit ended up getting the pass in the end, getting into 11th place, and now he's going to try and increase that gap between himself and Sui. It seemed like Sui was ever so slightly holding up Jinnit to win it, but Jinnit's got quite a bit of time to try and close the driver ahead of Knuckles to get an extra couple points there. We got a battle for 4th place. Cake still having that penalty of 5 seconds. HSVDT as well with the penalty. So Hotspot is right now on pace to move up another position. We're on to the final lap of the feature race. Pretty sure the sprint race is only like 8 laps because of how long the laps are. A. Daltonian trying to catch grumpy old Catman, sporting some fairly fresh softs. Grumpy's forced to run right over the curb. That somewhat opens up a line for A. Daltonian to come around with. You can see just the difference in traction coming out of the turn that A. Daltonian had, as well as the softs. But AE kind of just launches it very deep into the turn 1. But I think those softs bail him out again as he once again gets the better traction. Actually, he's on 5-lap old softs, so not that big of a tire advantage to AE, maybe not even any. As you can see coming through Eau Rouge up the hill, it's actually grumpy old Catman with the far better pace. He gets alongside AE and fully ahead down the inside line to turn 5. AE's trying to fight back. Goes over the curb a little bit, does grumpy old Catman. But A. Daltonian sends around the outside going through turn 7 to get the position back, having to defend for... Whoa! Mystic Joker came over the line. Okay, Mystic Joker comes over the line with the feature race win. Elmo Jacko's just finishing up the final couple turns. He's going to get a respectable 7th. Mahi Mahi, teammate of Garrus Vac, coming over the line 3rd in the BWT. Will Ann's looking to come over 4th with Cake Thomas. Going to be dropping down into 6th because of all the chaotic... not really, but Cake Thomas got a penalty, so that's going to push him down. Ray is going to come over 6th, but jump up into 5th. There we go. HSVDT has a penalty, and he's going to finish behind Hotspot the Garisvac, bringing his race back, dropping down to at one point was 15th place with a well-timed pit. Gets back up into 9th. Jenna Twin it, coming over the line in a unhappy 10th place. 11th goes Knuckles. 12th goes Sui. Spaceman is surely going to get 13th. A. Daltonian and Grumpy Old Catman are still battling it out. Grumpy Old Catman is going to try and race him out to the finish, but I mean, A. Daltonian's got a penalty, so this is all void as Grumpy Old Catman comes over the line in 14th. And Impossible Bacon finishes up there, man, with a 16th place finish, I believe it was. Not the best day for Impossible Bacon, qualifying 5th. Not what you want to see. Yo, how many of you Toronto Paradox players are in here still? How many of you VAC supporters are in here still? But there we go. Yellow. You might have missed the conversation earlier, but you guys ever seen Muppets in Space? Mystic Joker celebrating the win. Elma Jacko, a familiar face, alongside Mystic Joker, coming in second, and Mahi Mahi continuing his good run of form in third. I think so. Used to love that movie as a kid. I don't know why. I can still like picture the opening scene for it. It was like they had that song, "Brick House," because she's a brick. House. Oh, Mahi Mahi lagged out, but I'll go through the order once more, and then I will get ready for the sprint race. But here we go. Mr. Joker, Alma Jacko, Mahi Mahi get the podium. Will Lance just finishes outside in 4th with a very good 16th to 4th. Ray going into 5th. Cake Thomas 6th. Hotspot 7th. HSVDT 8th. The Garisvac in 9th. Jenna to win it, rounding out the top 10. Knuckles going 11th. Sui 12th. Spaceman at 13th. Grumpy Old Catman going 14th. A. Daltonian with the penalty at the end, dropping him to 15th. Impossible Bacon, not the race that he was hoping for, in 16th. JC Blackley, 1 lap behind at 17th. Crustier T gets a DNF. Yeah, very good race by Ray. Hello, how you doing today, VTech? Good to see you in chat, my friend. But yeah, man, I need to watch Muppets in Space. Honestly, I think I might watch it tonight. Or is that... No, screw it. If I want to watch Muppets in Space, I will watch Muppets in Space. And who in their damn right is going to stop me? We get made fun of. But that's not something that I'm used to. I'm used to, yeah. Who gives a shit? Oh, but there is hockey on tonight. Who's playing? We'll go to the NHL scores. Montreal Canadiens leading the way up 5-3 over the Jets, and they are about to take game 1 of the Battle of Canada. As not many at the beginning of the year, no one need more info in fundraiser chat. Okay, Spaceman announcement tomorrow. Okay, there'll be an announcement tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to once again ping Hyper Series Rainbow Six League to try and get people to see if they'd be interested in it as well. But yeah, big announcement tomorrow. I'll be sure to make an announcement about the announcement tomorrow before the race, to be sure that everyone does tune in. But like I was saying, Battle of Canada, the Canadiens are set to take that up 5-3 over the Jets. Who are the goals by? I would stop talking about hockey. Oh, there are a lot of Toronto fans here, I see. It's what I do. I have to. Goals from Kokniemi, Eric Stahl, Nick Suzuki, Brendan Gallagher, and Evans. And on the other side, Lowry, Forbut, and Kyle Connor picking out the goals for Winnipeg. Yeah, I know stats, but I mean the world keeps moving on. Trust me, I'm an Oilers fan. My team got swept in the most disgusting way of getting swept ever. I mean, how does 3 overtimes and like they don't win one? Ethan Bear absolutely gifting away the game in back-to-back games. Like, it was just unbelievable. But anywho, Hotspot starting second. It looks like he gets a position early on of HSVDT going around the outside, going already into first. Will Ends and Cake Thomas battling it out. Mystic Joker looks like he's already been overtaken. Mahi, I'm not sure if he's getting driven by his car or someone else's car, but oh, a little bit of contact going up Eau Rouge. The drivers give each other the room. Ray gets a really good run coming out, and Knuckles, A. Daltonian bins it into the wall. 9 laps makes this race a safety car right out of the gate. We don't need a safety car. The guy's literally the last guy on track. They're gonna get that cleaned up before everyone can even make their way around track. Like, what's the point of the safety car there? But whatever. Okay, let's check the MLB today. I know my boys won. So games finished. Baltimore somehow wins a game. The Double-A team takes out Minnesota. I thought Minnesota was going to be a lot better this year, but they're not. New York Mets just scraping out a dub over the Arizona Diamondbacks 7-6. The Mets need to start winning. They're supposed to be a lot better than what they're doing. The Chicago Cubs are winning. To somewhat of my surprise, their pitching has finally started to come back. And now their bats are just like continuing how good they are actually. Right now, in the bottom of the 8th, New York Yankees lead the Tampa Bay Rays 4-3. Miami Marlins up 5-3 over the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays de Toronto, if you're from Quebec. Washington up over Atlanta 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Boston is losing to the Houston Trash Cans 2-1 in the end of the 6th, so going into the top of the 7th. Colorado is actually winning a game as well to Texas, and the Dodgers are in the beginning of the game up 11-2 over the St. Louis Cardinals. Bottom of the 1st in Oakland and Seattle. Any conversations? Should I come play for MidWest next season for Siege? Oh man. I mean, we could probably work something out. Stats. If you want to represent MidWest for Siege, then I'm sure we can work something out, but you need to get released by Toronto or something. Because I like the guys over at Toronto. They've always been fairly good to me, so I wouldn't want to step on any toes and sewer them. It's just kind of funny the way that it's worked out, that I'm actually worked into a better relationship with the Canadian teams in the Hyper Series Rainbow Six League than I have with the American teams. Maybe that's because I'm Canadian. But I don't know, I find better communication with the other Canadian teams. Oh, other than Vancouver, I haven't really talked to Vancouver at all, so I can't confirm that, okay? So never mind. But safety cars should be ending here. 1 lap of the safety cars, so you can scratch the first 2 laps of this race. Hey, I mean, stats, we can always try and work out a loan deal. Come represent us for a little bit, and you can always go back. That's what we've done with Ace Privilege right now. We have had to loan him to San Antonio because he's got some friends over there, so he'll be back hopefully next season to represent us again, as he's a pretty solid player and decent IGL, good guy as well, so that's first priority for me there, so I'd like to have him around. Hopefully he'll come back. It's all up in the air though, so maybe we can work something out with you as well, Stats, if that's something that you're interested in. But is the safety car not coming in? It's going around once more. Is this a joke? Oh, a little bit of a penalty. So now we're gonna play Safety Car Simulator. Spaceman's into the pit. What is happening here? Alright. Interesting stuff. Yeah. This is getting pretty stupid. We're not going to actually properly start this race until lap 4. So that'll bring us with 6 full laps of racing. Yeah, I guess it was probably the position glitch or whatever it was there, VTech. You know what I was just thinking about as well today? If you guys have ever watched this, was Bad News Bears. I haven't watched that movie forever. It all depends, because I don't even know if Toronto's going to be a team next year with all the college and stuff. We are first in our conference right now, and that says that if that stays away, I'm probably going to stay at toe, not O. Fair enough. But anywho, Bad News Bears. Fairly, would you call it an iconic movie? Let's see, budget 9 million, box office 42.3. That's for the old one. For the newer one, oh, that one's budget was 35 million and the box office was 34.3. Now they probably went over it with sales, but did not do as good as the original. Now, is anyone surprised? Yeah, Bad News, the original Bad News Bears did more than the Billy Bob Thornton remake. But here we go, back to green racing. I'm focused. Will Ans is very close to HSVDT. Hotspot's trying to grow the gap. Mystic Joker's all the way back down into 9th place. He needs open air to do what he can. So will he be able to get that open air? Only one way to find out, and that's to get through the rest of this race. Like I said, 6 full laps is what we're going to get here. Cake Thomas does a fairly good job of keeping some speeds going through Eau Rouge. Opens up the gap ever so slightly to Garris Vac. Teammate of Mr. Vac, Mahi Mahi, currently sitting in 8th, not too far away from his teammate, and looking at the inside line as well. But Mystic Joker can see both BWTs and sees one going a little bit too deep through the turn, sees that gap, takes it. Vac down to 9th, Mystic Joker up to 8th. Lovely move. Just unfortunate for Vac, leaving the door open. Now he's got Jinnit to win it, who leaves the door open. Down the inside line goes Jinnit as he gets a position on Vac, and within a couple of turns, Vac goes from 8th to 10th. Losing one position off of start. Still got a decent bit of racing to go here. These laps are massive, so each lap is virtually 2 laps, so quite a bit of position changes to come. Jacko can see Will Ans, the Aussie, working on the Brit. Will give him the room, goes a little bit wide, and then comes back and closes the door shut. Bringing back up my track map. We can see that Will Ans is coming around that big swooping right-hander of turn 15. Leaves the door ever so slightly open to Jacko, and Jacko takes that and goes around the outside of turn 16 through 17. Hotspot and HSVT are well battling into the bus stop. Will Ans can't brake late enough to get by Elma Jacko, but it's HSVDT and Hotspot that are battling it out. And how many times have we seen this where two cars are battling and then Jacko's just able to slip through and take both of them? And this is what he's trying to line up with the switchback, but Hotspot as well switches back and blocks him off. HSVDT gets the elbows out in Hotspot, but Hotspot gets a really good run out of turn 1 and around. Gonna come up into Eau Rouge. Hotspot still leading the way, doing a good job, and a little bit of contact, and HSVDT got into the back of Hotspot there, and he's trying to pick himself up. And yeah, okay, so he's back in 9th place. I'm not sure. Hotspot was ahead of HSVDT. Maybe he expected him to take a little bit quicker of a line through Redillion, but unfortunately the contact is the doing of HSVDT, now down into 9th. Hotspot opening up the line to Elma Jacko, ever so slightly, yellow flag through sector 2. Cake Thomas looks like the next car to lose control of that thing around turn 8 and drops all the way down into 15th place. But we got a battle for the lead as Hotspot cuts away the option of first place for Elma Jacko, sending it right across his racing line through turn 10 and 11. Coming through 12, both the drivers are not separated by all too much. Ray as well as Ray as well as Will Ans not far away from this battle. Mystic Joker has also worked himself up into 6th place. So you can see he's going to start picking off some positions here. He's got a very tough foe in Mahi Mahi sitting ahead of him here, but he's closing the gap coming around turn 15. Then we go into 16 here. Mahi's going to feel the pressure. Mystic does a good job of getting some speed, but as so does Will. Mahi Mahi does a really good job of getting some pace. Tries to block off the line of Ray. Ray has to force his way back into it. DRS are available now. Mystic Joker, Ray and Mahi Mahi going 3 wide around turn 1. Mahi's got the inside line. Mystic has to try and send it all the way around the outside, but a switchback is not available there. DRS, as you saw, is available. Mahi's going to be the only one in this chain of cars not to get it. We come up through Eau Rouge. All drivers do a really good job and gain some solid pace. Ray surely will be able to take over Mahi Mahi. Mystic Joker will as well be able to overtake Mahi Mahi. He's going to actually, just wasn't enough space for him to try and get Ray as well. Mahi's trying to send it down the inside as well as around the outside now. Turn 6, Mystic blocks that off, gets a position. Janet Twinnet now right behind Mystic, trying to do exactly what he can do, but only better. Working on Mahi as well, but Mahi closing the door. Mystic Joker now up into 5th. Janet Twinnet still in 7th. Mahi drops a position. Ray moves up 1. But now it's Mystic Joker who's going to try and work on Ray. Ray's going to feel the heat. Janet Twinnet, actually, I'll jump back on that. As Janet, he's going to be feeling a little bit, irky. He needs to get that position on Mahi. He can't let Mystic Joker go a little bit too far and forces Mahi into a poor racing line now. He's going to try and look to get alongside and, a little bit of a snap back on track. Mahi nearly gets a piece of Janet to win it, but Janet does a good job of avoiding danger. And now he's going to try and come around turn 15 and get a good run. He's going to get right to the back of Mahi. Chooses the outside line. He's right alongside him now. He's got the longer way around the track. Mahi does a good job of keeping pace, but Janet goes just off, and that forces him into a penalty. Mystic Joker goes down the outside into the bus stop chicane. Janet Twinnet down the inside, and then someone closes off Mahi Mahi, but Mahi actually has to hit Janet to allow himself to get on track to make the turn. And now Mahi swings to the inside line. Janet goes super deep, looks at a switchback, but Mahi's able to do quite enough to still hold on to the position. Mystic Joker now up into 4th place. Sees 3 full laps left as we make our way through sector 1 of lap 7. Mystic still trying to work himself up into the lead, but it looks like we might have a lead change here as Jacko goes around the outside line coming into turn 5. Hotspot's going to try and force him deep, but has to cut a little bit of the curb, and by doing so he loses major speed. And now he's all the way back down into 3rd, and he's going to go into 4th with Mystic Joker holding the pace coming around turn 7, and he's going to force Hotspot go all the way around the outside, and that's a little bit too far to try and hold on to that position. Now Mystic Joker up into 3rd, can see Elma Jacko in 1st place, not too far away, as right now currently sitting with the double podium. The Garris Vac trying to work himself back up into a good finish, sitting once again in 9th place where he initially started. Yellow flag, and who's that? No, Mahi Mahi, teammate of the Garris Vac, goes off, and now it's seemingly all on Vac for some good points. He does move up a position. Mahi drops all the way down into 12th, not what you want to see. Mystic Joker is really working on Will Ants here, as Will can feel the heat. Maybe these mediums are getting a little bit too rough for him, but not for Mystic. Tries to keep as much of the tires as he possibly can, doing what he can to work around the outside, but Will Ants closes off that racing line. Nothing really open for the inside line there. Will Ants goes a little bit too deep. Now Mystic is going to get a good run out of turn 19 with DRS as well. Will Ants is going to be under pressure coming into turn 1, opts to defend the inside line. Elma Jacko sets the fastest lap. Mystic goes through and past Will Ants even before turn 1, but gets a little bit squirrely on the throttle, and now that brings Hotspot right beside him as Hotspot wants to get himself back on the podium. Mystic Joker looks like he's actually just opened up enough of a gap to be safe going into turn 5 after the Camel straight with the DRS wing open. Will Ants actually gets saved with the DRS wing, and Jinna Twinna is able to pick off Ray and go up into 5th place. Now with Hotspot and Will Ants separating himself from the podium, as well as a 3-second time penalty. Mystic Joker now 2 seconds separates him from Jacko. Is that a little bit too far? And Jinna to win it. I'm not sure if he made contact there, but he is able to turn himself back around. Still has his wing fully intact, but unfortunately down in 9th place. That moves a bunch of the drivers up another position as the Garris Vac goes up into 7th place. But quickly, I'm just going to say, if you like what you see, be sure to follow the stream. We very much appreciate all follows. We're trying to get into 175 fairly quickly here, as we've got a Season 3 ending goal to try and get to 200 followers. So please help us try and get to that goal. I mean, if you like what you see, be sure to tune in tomorrow night, as we have actually a really cool announcement. I'm not being fake. This is honestly a really good announcement that a lot of us are extremely proud of, that we're going to be announcing tomorrow in post-race interviews of Division 1. So be sure to come back tomorrow. 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern is where we start, with the 16-minute qualifying followed by a 50% race in Division 1, and it is getting hot up in there, so be sure to check that out. We're back again in Spa tomorrow, right where we are at today, so we'll have to see what Spa can bring us tomorrow night. A 1.5-second gap separates Elma Jacko and Mystic Joker here. Is that a little bit too far for Mystic to try and close the gap? That's quite the task. We'll have to see if he can get it done. Hotspot trying to work himself back up into the podium. He needs a good run out of Eau Rouge to get the job done. Will Ants taking a different line into Eau Rouge. Hotspot, a fairly calculated line, comes through with some decent pace, but Will Ants with a little bit of a different apexing gets the job done as well. 3/10 separates these two drivers. Looks like a driver off in turn 1. Hotspot actually doesn't opt for the slipstream. Will Ants breaks it and goes to the inside line. Hotspot just decides not to follow him to try and get that pace advantage, as is now still sitting in 4th place. But quickly to finish my thought, tune in tomorrow, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, where we usually go live Thursday night. Division 1, you can see me as well as my co-host, who's currently sitting in P1 right now, Elma Jacko, who's getting hunted down by Mystic Joker here. A couple very familiar drivers with each other. Mystic currently leading the Division 1 championship. Elma Jacko, Season 2 champion. So a couple very familiar drivers here in the Midwest F1. So yeah, tune in tomorrow. Awesome announcement. We're really proud of it, and we'd like to get the ball rolling on it. So it's all going to start tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. Purple Sector 2 goes Mystic Joker, as he's trying to do as much as he can, but maybe he just ran out of laps. If he had one more lap, I'm sure he would have gotten real tight onto Elma Jacko, but it looks like Elma Jacko is going to hold on to the sprint race win, as the Uni Virtusi driver is going to come around the final couple of corners with Mystic Joker draped all over the back of him. Will Ans goes a little bit too deep. That's going to open up a switchback where Will Ans blocks that off. And he's just going to be able to get third place done. Hotspot finishing fourth, ever so close. Jinnit to win it. What happens there? A couple drag to the end in HSVDT. Oh my god, Jinnit. The penalties. Jumping, Jesus. Oh. But the penalties come into play quite a bit here. Mahi finds himself back up into 11th, nearly 12th as Knuckles comes over with the top 10, just missing out in the feature. Impossible Bacon is getting real close on the grumpy old Catman here as he wants to get the move done on track. He's going to go right onto the grass to try and get it done. It kind of backs out ever so slightly. And Grumpy does a good job of getting a decent... Whoa, impossible. Too heavy on the throttle. He's going to come over the line with the position anyway, with the penalty to grumpy old Catman. But yeah, that was actually a pretty entertaining race. But that is it for us here for the Midwest F1 League. No more races for the evening. We're in, we're out, we get her done, and we get on to the next one. So there you go, you see that crazy Aussie in El Majaco celebrating his sprint race win. You can see Mystic Joker coming over with the double podium as well, and congratulations to Will Ans, as we have 3 different nationalities up on the podium. Will Ans being a Brit, the Aussie is Jacko, and the American is the man you see on the right side of your screen right there, Mystic Joker. But I'll go through the order once more of both races, and then I'll bring it to a close. But we see the sprint race results here as El Majaco comes over the line with the win. Mystic Joker coming over the line with the fastest lap, 4 tenths, 3.5 tenths quicker than the winner of El Majaco. Will Ans finishing third, Hotspot dropping down to 4th, ever so close. Ray, the teammate of Hotspot, into 5th. The Garrus Vac moving up 3 positions into 6th, having a fairly good race. HSVDT with 7th, Sui 8th, Keek Thomas 9th after a spin. Knuckles in 10th. And Mahi Mahi going 11th, Spaceman 12th, JC Blackley 13th, Jinnit to win it, getting all those penalties, dropping into 14th, Impossible Bacon in 16th, the Grumpy Old Catman in 16th, Impossible in 15th, Crustier T in 17th, AE DNFing, and quickly we see Mystic, Jacko, Mahi, Will Ans, Ray, Cake, Hotspot, HSVDT, the Garrus Vac, Jinnit Twin, Knuckles, Sui, Spaceman, Grumpy Old Catman, AE Daltonian, Impossible Bacon, JC Blackley, and Crustier T is the final one there. I was able to rip that through with 5 seconds left, but like I said, no more races for us here. We'll be back tomorrow with an awesome announcement, so be sure to tune into that. If you like what you saw, shoot us a follow, not just on this, but across all social media platforms, that being YouTube, Twitch, and well, of course, Twitch, Instagram, as well as Twitter. We've got all of those running, and we're posting as much as we can up on there. So go show us some support and see what we have to post. As we have actually some pretty quality stuff. We got really good guys on those social media teams. So be sure to go support them, not just us, but go support the guys that are doing that, as they're doing a very good job. So check that out. Love to see you guys in chat. Appreciate the talks and the communication today. Thank you, Spaceman, for your little bit of pre-race insight for me. I appreciate that. Helps out a lot. I'm not just playing in a guessing game, so thank you. Shout out to Spaceman this evening. But we will be seeing you hopefully tomorrow night. I've been Crash McQueen. We've been the Midwest F1 League. Be sure to be back here 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Thank you very much, and good night.